again, welcome to the Arlington Heights School District 25 meeting and the open public meeting. We're so excited you're all here today. It's such a celebratory time today, and we can't wait to get started and recognize our retirees later on in the agenda. At first, we're going to call to order. Lana, if you could please call the roll.
Member Olenichak?
Yes.
Member Jogi?
Yes.
Member Scapalato?
Here.
Member Filipek?
Here.
Member Faso?
Here. Thank you. And we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now we can do the retiree reception.
And now we're going to be moving into the retiree reception, and we love all the little people who are here. I thought they were retiring. I got a little confused for a minute. But we're so excited, all the little people here and the big people too. And the board and the administration are so pleased to recognize the employees who are retiring from District 25 and all the time and talent that you've put into our district. And school principals and administrators will share a few words about each individual as we thank them for their tremendous service to the Arlington Heights community.
Thank you. And Dr. Jogi and I are going to come around to the table so that we can help with the celebration.
Yeah.
Our first presenter tonight is Stacy Malik from the Dutton Administration Office.
Coletta, would you please join me? I am so proud tonight that we are recognizing Coletta Hines Newell on her retirement after 23 years of service to District 25 as the Director of Food Service. The program Coletta developed in District 25 was a model to other districts who had in-house programs and was the envy of many other districts. In addition to setting the standard for an in-house food service program, Coletta was a founding member of a $24+ million, 78-member district food service purchasing co-op that continues on today due to the sustainability of the way of the co-op was created. She is known across the nation due to her advocacy for food service at both the state and federal legislative levels. Most recently, over the past number of years during the pandemic, Coletta quickly adapted to changing rules from the state and federal government to provide meals to all of our students, and for a while, all of the families in our community who needed it. She created a distribution program that included dropping off food at homes when necessary to ensure access to those who needed it, serving nearly 1 million meals during that time. She is so knowledgeable about school food service. She served on the Department of Child Nutrition Advisory Board for ISBE for 20 years and often explained how the new creative programs she implemented did meet the laws that they developed. While I could go on about Coletta's accomplishments, I think that most of us will remember the thing about her is that she cared. She cared about students. She cared about her staff. She always tried to say yes, even when what was being asked of her was well above and beyond what anyone should expect. In her retirement, Coletta plans to continue traveling with her husband, Richard, visiting the last 3 states in the U.S. that they haven't been to yet, as well as to other countries. She also plans to continue volunteering in her community and church, and I'm pretty sure she'll continue taking phone calls from her former colleagues and possibly state officials as the encyclopedia of school food service. It has been an honor and a pleasure to have worked with Coletta. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Our next presenter is Dr. Peg Lazwicki.
Lisa, I'm here to recognize Lisa Cramp. Lisa Cramp has played a key role in the Department of Student Services for the last 23 years. Even before officially joining District 25's team 17 years ago, she worked for 5 years providing technical assistance to our special education teams through NSSEO. Lisa has led special education teams across the district and every one of our schools. She probably cannot even begin to count the number of IEP meetings she's facilitated in the last 23 years. Lisa was instrumental in creating the district's integrated services program at Westgate. This program has been near and dear to Lisa's heart, and I'd like to share some words from our IS colleagues. The IS team is forever grateful to have the opportunity to work with Lisa the last 8 years. Lisa provided structures and supports to help us maximize the services we provide children while encouraging us to take risks and grow as professionals. She showed our team what it means to be an effective leader and mentor as she relentlessly advocated for both the students and the staff with grace and professionalism. She empowered us to build our confidence as we encountered both new and everyday challenges. Because of this, we grew as educators. She brought joy to all of us, and we are so thankful to have worked with her. Thank you, Lisa, for helping us to provide a program to District 25 that our team continues to be proud of. And thank you for making us feel cared for and valued both professionally and personally. You are a true leader. From the Department of Student Services, we wish Lisa best in her retirement, and of course, congratulations.
Our next presenter is our Director of Food Service, Sandy Voss.
Gotta raise it up. Sorry, Peg. Okay. Today we recognize 3 individuals that really have made up the heart and soul of our food service team. Selfishly, I'm sad to see Kelly, Barb, Marina, if you mind joining me, please. I'm going to make them very uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm sad that I didn't get more time to work with you 3, but I'm beyond grateful for your commitment to our department. So Barb, right here next to me, she started with the district back in 2004 at Dryden Elementary, and then became a manager working at both of our middle schools, and most recently has spent time at Thomas. Barb, you're such a fun presence in the department, and your sense of humor and happy disposition will be missed. Barb's colleagues say she's quite the queen of pranksters and always finds a way to make her space fun. She excels in being creative, and her outside-of-the-box thinking has really had a huge and positive impact on our department. She is never afraid to try new things and take on new challenges. You have an impressive perspective on life and really do take everything in stride. Barb, I know your retirement will be filled with lots of fun and joy. I hope you find more people to laugh at your jokes and play pranks on, otherwise your family may return you. In all seriousness though, I know you will enjoy helping renovate your daughter's home, plan your son's wedding, and when you need a break from all of that work, you'll bask in your lake life, spending time boating and swimming and spoiling your dogs. Thank you for your commitment to our team. You'll be greatly missed, and we wish you retirement. Thank you. All right, Kelly doesn't get to leave. So Kelly, you started in the district as a lunch supervisor in 1993. After 2 short years in that role, she moved over to our food service team in 1995, and in January of 2000 moved to be a manager at South. As a manager, Kelly has the uncanny ability to keep a steady demeanor, which, as you can imagine, in a kitchen is always not the easiest thing to do. You take an incredible amount of care for the students and your staff in the kitchen. Your colleagues shared with me that you are incredibly dedicated, hardworking, and a great listener. You're always willing to roll up your sleeves, quite literally, and dive in. Kelly always looks for new and innovative ways to improve our programs, and we appreciate that. While we are so sad that our good friend and colleague is moving on, we are so excited for you. We know you will enjoy spending time in your new home, playing with your beautiful granddaughter, and anxiously awaiting the birth of your new grandbaby. We wish you health and happiness, and we hope your husband isn't too jealous of you quite yet. Thank you for all you've done to help support our department and feed our students. And Marina. Marina started with our department in August of 2000 when her daughter was attending school at Patton. Marina has truly been vested in our programs, and her longevity and dedication to our department shows that. Marina's colleagues shared with me that she's a very hard worker and easy to get along with. Marina truly is a wonderful person, one of the first person to greet me when I joined the team back here in January, and she's always helping out and is kind to everyone she meets. Marina, we wish you a wonderful retirement, a retirement full of cooking, hopefully not for hundreds of children though, baking and doing crafts. Most importantly, we hope you enjoy spending time with your family in the next stage of your life. Thank you for all you do to feed the students of our district. Thank you, Marina. Congratulations.
We'll now recognize our retirees from our schools, beginning with Greenbrier, and our principal will be speaking tonight, Donna Bingaman.
I have the honor tonight of honoring Lori Palm. Our goal here is to get through this without tears for either one of us. Lori has dedicated her educational career to Greenbrier. Special education teacher, a third grade teacher, and for the last 4 years, an amazing library media specialist. She is a dedicated educator with a passion for learning, always focused on what is best for students. She is the definition of a lifelong learner. Any definition in the dictionary should have Lori Palm's name next to it. I have never seen anyone so dedicated to growing personally and professionally. She's always learning something new. In her last years before retirement, where most people are like, okay, got 4 more years, I'm gonna ride it out. Nope, she goes back and she gets another certification to become a librarian. And she took on that challenge of the new position and amazing things with our library and for our students, encouraging them to be readers. She is the heart of Greenbrier. Lori knows the history, where the bodies are buried, and always has a finger on the pulse of the building. She is the one that everyone goes to for advice. I am hopeful that even in retirement, she will pick up the phone when I call. I would not have made it through my first couple of years without you. And there are many others with similar stories. Thank you, Lori, for the 30 years of dedication to Greenbrier School. We will miss you.
And recognizing our retirees from Olive Mary Stitt School, our principal, Erin Davis.
Good evening. I am honored to have the opportunity to recognize 3 individuals who have made a tremendous impact on the students, staff, and families at Olive Mary Stitt, 2 of them who are here with us this evening. Bob Sesterhen and Deb Pusateri. Will you please come join me? I'm going to start with Bob. So 11 years ago, Mr. Robert Sesterhen joined District 25. 7 years ago, Mr. Bob, as we affectionately refer to him, took over as the Olive Mary Stitt Field Operations Manager. A fixer of all things, Bob has not only taken care of our building, but our staff and students as well. Whether a ball was thrown on the roof, something spilled on the carpet, or a more unpleasant task was necessary, he always took care of anything and everything that we needed. Bob made connections with our students to the point where they always wanted to help him. He even donated his time years ago when we had the ABC 25 raffle by building birdhouses with several of our students in his workshop. Bob will always be a part of the Olive family, and we wish you the best in your retirement. Okay, serving District 25 students for 25 years, we celebrate our physical education teacher, Mrs. Pusateri. Mrs. Pusateri is a phenomenal PE teacher who always finds inventive and innovative ways to make PE fun. One of Deb's strengths is she helps foster an environment where even students who aren't innately athletic can feel successful. She is always there encouraging everyone to cross the finish line, even principals who think running a mile with students can't be that hard. It is. Mrs. Pusateri's stewardship of our annual field day has been a blessing for Olive. Her tireless planning helps make the day an absolute blast for students, staff, and parents. Not only does she encourage the health and wellness of our students, but each year she creates a path inside the school for our staff. I think if you walk her loop 4 times, you hit a mile. While Mrs. P will be missed tremendously, we wish her well on her retirement.
Our next group of retirees is from Westgate School, and they'll be celebrated by their principal, Dr. Ann Buck.
Okay. So I have the great pleasure this evening of recognizing 2 outstanding individuals from Westgate. So Mary Schoenbeck and Dawn Quill. There's power in numbers, right, ladies? Okay. All right. Mary has been a dedicated employee of District 25 for the past 20 years. As a teaching assistant at Westgate, she has brought grace and care to all she does. Most recently, Mary has worked closely with our littlest learners in kindergarten, providing the love and care they need as they learn new things. Mary, we are so glad that you have chosen to be part of the Westgate staff. Never forget the impact that you have had on students that you've worked with. Congratulations on your retirement, and please know that you will always have a home at Westgate. Dawn has been a dedicated employee of District 25 for the past 22 years. I was only 2 years old. It's amazing. She has brought love and care to Westgate students as a teaching assistant. Most recently, Dawn has worked closely with our first grade team. Her calm demeanor and subtle ways have provided the right recipe of supports for our students. Dawn, we are grateful for the time and energy you have given to the students, staff, and families at Westgate. We hope that you will continue to stay connected to us through your friends and hopefully family that you've made at Westgate. Enjoy your retirement.
Our next group of retirees are from South Middle School and will be celebrated by their principal, Dr. Jim Morrison.
All right, thank you. I have the pleasure to introduce and represent, talk about 6 members of our South Cardinals who are retiring this year, 5 who are here. So I'd like to call up Dave, Jim, Chris, Deb, and Greg. Come on and join us. Flying one last time. I always wondered, all these retirees, did I do something wrong? All right. I'd like to start with Dave Frittner. When I think of a South Cardinal, I think of Dave Frittner as a model of what we expect. He is kind, respectful, responsible, and creates a safe environment for his students. Dave has dedicated his 30 years at South focusing on developing every aspect of students, their minds, bodies, and spirit. He has engaged students with his social studies lessons and motivated them through his coaching of boys basketball, girls basketball, cross country, and track and field. Dave takes the time to get to know both students and staff personally and goes out of his way to make sure all of his students are successful both in school and in life. Students and staff have the greatest respect for Dave. Jim Fisher. Jim is our science guy. He has taught 6th grade science his entire 26 years at South. Jim has been a team leader for many years and he's the go-to guy for when we need to know whether it's morning lineup. Jim is a great colleague and a friend. He will do anything for his coworkers and students to help them out. Jim always has a smile on his face walking through the hallways and in the office. He has a really great sense of humor and uses it in his everyday teaching. Jim is extremely organized and has binders and folders for everything, and some. Being a new grandpa, Jim will now have the ability to spend all of his new time spoiling her. Congratulations, thank you for all you've done. All right, Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson ends her 29-year career at South as a 6th grade math teacher. When asked, students state that Ms. Thompson is smart, kind, and caring. She stays after school when we need help and is always encouraging us to do our best. The students love her because she makes learning math fun and it makes it easy to understand. South staff say that Chris is always a true professional and a team player. Being student-centered, Chris is always looking out for the best interest of students and never gives up on them. Her kindness and empathetic nature goes unmatched. Her smile will be missed, as well as her positive attitude. Thank you. All right, Deb, I know you don't like being up here. I'm doing this anyways. First time now that I'm your boss, so I have that power. All right, Deb DiMaggio. Deb is passionate and loyal in her service to South students, staff, and community. She is hardworking, detailed-oriented, and has held herself to the highest standard for the past 20 years. Deb is known as the person who fixes all South's tech problems. She has a remarkable ability to see the potential in people and always strives to make them realize the potential within themselves. Deb is always willing to help, no matter what is going on throughout the school day. She is a person who is able to take a random picture and transform it into amazing Wii videos or slide presentation at a moment's notice. Deb, you will truly be missed by all staff and students. Thank you. Last but not least, Mr. Lindy. Greg is a kind and warm person who has been a calming influence and a problem solving for his team and the school for many years. As a team leader, Greg worked tirelessly to support not only his students, but the staff and the parents he worked through year after year. He would come into the building with a smile on his face every day, greet everyone, and ask how they're doing, and truly meant it. Greg's social studies class would have guest speakers. Yes, as he would dress up to entertain his students. As an individual dedicated to service, he was one of the key organizers in taking 8th grade students on yearly field trips to feed my starving children. Greg was also always seen on Fridays running the ping pong club, bravely supervising one of the largest clubs in the building and having fun participating with his students. He's dedicated, and his service to the school and community will be felt for years to come. Thank you, Greg. So one last thing, we will greatly miss all of you, tremendously. But remember, once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal. Thank you.
You guys already look so rested. And our final retiree is from Thomas Middle School and will be celebrated by our principal, Lori Namwitz.
Good evening. It is with great pride that I share gratitude to a very special member of our Wolf Pack. He is retiring after 50 years of service to District 25. Mr. Jeff Jaburek. Come on over. All right. For the past 50 years, or shall we say 600 months, or 2,607 weeks, or 18,250 days, or 5 decades, or a half a century, Mr. Jaburek has been an incredible pillar for the Thomas Middle School community. His exemplary work ethic and commitment to serving and supporting the Thomas Middle School community are showcased by the many roles he has filled during his 50-year tenure at Thomas. Get ready. Mr. J has served as a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math teacher, an ELA teacher, a team leader, a math department chairman, a summer school teacher, a special education teacher assistant, I'm only halfway done, a building tech advocate, an ATA president, an ATA negotiating team member, the girls and boys basketball coach, and he has been a scorekeeper for all Thomas home athletic events since he retired from coaching in 2005. Jeff holds the TMS record for 31 years of service as a lunchroom supervisor. Totally. This year, Jeff is the recipient of the Hearts of Gold Award and of the Leroy Dansby Lean On Me Award. Putting it mildly, Jeff has touched the lives of countless individuals, many of whom now serve as staff members or parents in District 25. Tonight, I learned that we even have a principal in the room who had Jeff as a teacher. How great is that? Jeff was his teacher. 7th grade math. How cool is that? 6th grade, oh my gosh. Anyone else have Mr. Jaburek? Another hand? Oh my gosh. Please stand up if you've had Mr. Jaburek as a teacher. Holy cow. Wow. That's outstanding. Oh my gosh. Wow. Jeff is a tried and true Timberwolf and a trusted leader of our Wolf Pack. He will be remembered for many years to come, and we thank him for his outstanding 50 years of service, and we thank his wife, Debbie, who's somewhere, Debbie, and Jeff's family for sharing him with us all these years. Congratulations, Jeff, and best wishes. I just have to say he's already asked about subbing next year. Already interested.
Thank you so much. That was so inspiring, and thank you once again. We're really inspired by all our outstanding educators and their service to our community. And also a big thank you to all the families and friends and grandchildren who have supported and kept a smile on all our educators. So Arlington Heights will always be a home, so we hope to see you here again. And thank you again. And of course, you are, let Lori close it
You're
off.
welcome to stay, but you're also welcome to go and celebrate your achievement. Thank you so much.
Testing 1, 2.
We're going to take down all the chairs.
Yeah.
Except for 4. All right, so we are about 20 minutes ahead of schedule, so that's good.
Okay, that's good. Wow, this room is looking pretty big. Like Rich said, we have lots of chairs here. So you're welcome to move closer. We'd love to see you closer. If you'd like to move closer.
Nope, they're back row.
They're back row people. We're going to move on to the board communications portion of the meeting. Oh, you see, they listened to Adam. Thank you. Thanks, Adam. We feel lonely up here. Yeah. The first item on the agenda is we have, if there's any board member updates that our board members have. After all this, it's a hard act to follow of anything that I can't even think of one right now.
The library?
Yes, thank you. Greg, would you like to talk about the library?
Madam President, yeah, I wanted to share an update. It was just over a week ago. Myself, Scott, Rich, and Chad, we got to attend. We were, oh, what?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Special
and
Olympics.
Yes, Special Olympics, right. It was just over a week ago we got to go, and with the invite, and it was such a beautiful day to support our D25 All-Stars. Grateful for the invite, but just so many smiles, so much joy, and thank you to the coaches and the volunteers and everyone that advocated to really bring our D25 All-Stars from our district and then connect all our families with such a big and wonderful program. So just gratitude. Really, I'm still smiling from it. It was a great day.
Yeah, way to go to our Special Olympics. We also had the Patton Walkathon. That was really fun to go, and board members were at the Walkathon. Scott, do you want to share about the Walkathon? Scott had the funnest station there.
We had the most fun and the loudest station, I think. We had the music pumping. We had the puppy dogs barking with the Arlington Heights Police Department K-9 unit. It was in the park. It was just a beautiful event. The kids had a wonderful time getting around Arlington Heights. I know it's been a long, cold spring, so I think getting out and about was good for them, and it was for such a great cause. These kids just had a great time supporting that event.
And I loved all the people in costumes at the different stations. Were you wearing a Cinderella ball gown thing too?
I had my own unique costume on,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. I saw your unique costume. Okay, thank you so much, Scott. And then this Saturday, we had a joint board meeting with the Arlington Heights Library. And Rich, would you like to share about that?
Sure. I think it was everyone except Brian was there, if I remember right. He had a prior commitment, but it was a fabulous event at the Makers Place. So this is one of the original libraries that has swapped between the library owning it and the village owning it, and now has recently moved back to the library. And they've done a phenomenal job of, if you haven't had a chance to go there, please go there. Phenomenal even partnership between public and private funds that were used to actually make that work. Not only the highlight of seeing the kitchen, the sewing area, the art area, the maker area with the 3D printers and the CNC machines and the etchers and things of that nature, which was phenomenal. The amount of resources that they have there, as well as, and I think even important for the district, is the partnership that Lori and staff have been working to utilize those services there. And I think over the coming years, months and years, we'll just be able to leverage those facilities so much more, continuing our partnership with the library.
Yeah, and the hands-on learning with STEAM and STEM, that was at that, Rich hit all the spots. And I love the story, right, Rich, that that Lori and the executive director, Mike Driscoll of the library, shared about our middle school young men who are really excited about the sewing room. And so we have the Sew Bros. The Sew Bros. So we have some sewing talent in the community. So that was excellent to see. And Dr. Bynum gave an excellent presentation showing the collaboration between the school and the library, and Mike Driscoll did too as far as the executive director. So that was really helpful to see kind of a recap of all these years of collaboration with the two gems in our community, among the many gems that we have here in Arlington Heights. Thank you. Any other updates? Good. Thank you. So we'll move on to Ed Red. Rich?
Just our next scheduled meeting is in 2 weeks, so we'll have more to update at that point. But one thing I just wanted to, I know we've talked about the referendum coming up, just to make everyone aware. I know we're all thinking about the 28th, but early voting starts on June 13th, which is a phenomenal event. I just kind of looked at it. It's available every day. You can go vote every day. It's even on Sunday, believe it or not. Oh, yes, thank you. Good thought. You can only vote once, but you could go visit every day if you'd like, but you can only vote once. But it is available every day, so there's no excuse or no challenge within a schedule to go out and vote.
And so, Rich, while you're at that topic, where can folks go to vote?
Good question. So from the 13th through the day before the election, you can vote at the Arlington Heights Village Hall. So that'll be open, and most days are open around 8 o'clock. They vary what time they close, but most days are open, even on, like I said, Saturday and Sunday at 8, and they're available there.
Okay, thank you so much, Rich. And next up, the update about IASB. Our school board is getting ready to go to the IASB conference, and I really encourage us all as school board members to let Lana know so she can make all the full preparations for us to go. And this is a significant portion of learning that we do as school board members, and truly a board that learns together, leads together. So I'm really excited for us as a board to go, and we get to collaborate with our administrators there as well. So it's really good time of sharing and of how can we continue to make our district excellent. So the ISB, look out for that email if you haven't already reached out to Lana about that. And NSSEO, Gina. And Scott.
I have nothing other than the graduation that took place, but if there's anything else, Gina, I believe it's been a kind of a chill month, so maybe next month we'll have something further.
Thank you, Scott. And the NSSEO, they truly have invite the community in, and as school board members, we're invited in tomorrow for a tour, and I'll be attending at 1 p.m., 1:30. I'll be attending on behalf of the board, and as far as getting a tour of NSSEO, learning more about their programs. So I'm looking forward to that. I know our board liaisons know so much about NSSEO. I'm looking forward to catch up with the administrators at NSSEO tomorrow. Okay, the next up, we have community input, and we truly welcome feedback and input from our community, and the opportunity to speak to the board is provided for members of the public who have a comment to make about the business of the board. The board appreciates hearing from stakeholders and values your thoughts and questions. As the board strives to make the best decisions for the district, public input can be helpful. In order for the board to reserve sufficient time to conduct its business and to operate its meeting in the spirit of civility and decorum, speakers are expected to follow the following guidelines. 1, address the board only at the time provided on the agenda, only after being recognized by the board president. Number 2, identify yourself and be brief. Your comments must be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. The board may shorten this allowed time in order to conserve time to allow the maximum number of people the opportunity to speak. And 3, please be respectful and courteous, and the board requests that you not make statements that are personally disrespectful or condescending to members of the board or staff, and the board typically does not respond to comments or attempt to answer questions during the public comment period, but we do listen intently and appreciate the input from our community. And today we have one community member who is going to be addressing us, Sam Pappas, please. If you could come on to the mic. Thank you for being here.
Evening. Can you hear me? Evening. My daughter attends Westgate. A few words regarding the Strategic Plans DEI initiative. I've been a resident of Arlington Heights for nearly 27 years, and the student body has been very diverse, and the school environment has been very inclusive with respect to students and staff. I've seen many students with many diverse backgrounds, cultures, races, and ethnicities attending school. As long as they reside within the school district, they are free to attend school and are not excluded. We've been hearing a lot about DEI lately in the news and in other media. It is not a new concept, but something that can be traced as far back as the 60s. It has evolved and has been embraced by different movements over the years. Following the death of George Floyd, DEI was extensively propelled and promoted in government, corporate America, and academia, including local school districts. Given District 25's excellent track record on diversity and inclusion, I often wonder what this latest DEI initiative can achieve that hasn't already been accomplished in District 25. There is always room for improvement, of course, even if incremental, although I believe that any changes in our school system, even through a DEI-type initiative, should always align with parental values and expectations and should not be promoting anyone's political or personal agenda. I believe that our focus should be on continuing to provide the best level of education for our students in a supportive and safe environment. We want our students to thrive and achieve excellence in school. It all begins with the family. First and foremost, it is a family that raises a child and instills principles and values in that child. Social justice, globalization issues, and other political controversies are best left outside the elementary classroom. Let's let our kids be kids, let them enjoy school, let them thrive in the classroom and in extracurricular activities while respecting other students so that they can move on to greater challenges. It is my understanding that as part of this latest DEI initiative, the school district is planning on reviewing the student curriculum and implementing certain changes. I believe that any student curriculum must not only be achievement-oriented, but should also align with parental values and expectations in order to maintain the highest quality level of education for students. I believe that there should be ongoing parental involvement in this curriculum review and selection process. Parents need to be aware and better understand what is going on in the classroom and in the school environment generally. They need to identify and understand what problems or issues currently exist with the established curriculum that need changing. I, along with other interested parents, are in the process of forming a Parental Curriculum Review and Selection Committee, CRSC for short, whose primary goal and purpose is to review and help ensure a quality, balanced, and appropriate curriculum for students enrolled in the school district, working in conjunction with the school district and the board, not in lieu. I'm asking Dr. Bine and the board to permit CRSC to be involved in this process and to assist in providing information on CRSC to anyone who is interested in participating.
Mr. Pappas, I just want to let you know.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I was just going to let you know the time was up, but thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have communications from district partners. Nicole from PTA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cat.
Okay. Good evening. Our district's PTA executive boards are turning over and new officers have taken on their roles. I'd like to thank all of the volunteers who sat on the local unit boards this year. I would like to especially recognize our outgoing presidents, Dryden's Rachel Conklin, Greenbrier's Eva Harasidasis, Ivy Hill's Angela Cece, Olive's Holly Dunkel, Patton's Amanda Bonsali, South's Donna Eckel, Thomas's Amy Hoffman, Westgate's Ed Harris, and Windsor's Carolyn Warnament. These presidents did everything they could to give our schools as much normality, support, and fun as possible this year. They strategized with their boards to build community and worked with families, teachers, and administrators to help bring excitement to each school. I'd also like to thank our outgoing AHC officers, our Secretary Erica Cubo, and our first VP Kristen Zanini, who served on council for 2 consecutive years. I would like to congratulate the Arlingtonites Council of PTA's newly elected officers, Monish John as treasurer, Rachel Conklin as secretary, Jody Schaff as first VP, and Sarah Hess as second VP. I will remain the president of AHC, and I am looking forward to another year with the local units in the District 25 community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Nicole, for your leadership, and thank you to all the people, the parents, and the leadership of PTA and Arlington Heights Council PTA.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Okay, next up, we'll be discussing ABC 25 Foundation. Ms. Basso.
Thank you. So similar to PTA, we are in the process of turning over our board and having the new officers step in. I would like to thank Ann Poyer. She is exiting a 2-year term as president, and she has been a part of the foundation for over 5 years, working as a liaison, a grant director, and then serving her 2 years as president. We wish her all of the best. We're sure she's not going to go too far. We're happy to keep her on, even as a consultant, as we bring in the new team. In addition to that, we're wrapping up all of the pieces from the incredible event that we had here at South when we did our Get Burbed Challenge, and I'll have more on that. We meet tomorrow night for our last meeting of the year, and I will get the final statistics to be able to share at our next board meeting. So we're looking forward to another year and giving all the money we've just raised back to the great teachers so that they can do new, innovative, and creative things in their classrooms. Thanks, Anisha.
Okay, thank you so much, Gina. It's amazing when you hear the number of supports that the community gives back into our schools. You know, we heard that at the library, like Rich had mentioned, the foundation at the library supports the library so much, and our foundation supports us. So much community input, and truly takes a village. And so we're so grateful for the foundation. Next up, we have Miss Allison Burke with ATA.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? I can't hear me. Okay, great. So tonight I'm representing Thomas, the last school road trip here at my school, road trip. Anyways, if you can take a look at the pictures behind me, the PE department at Thomas recently replaced numerous weight machines in the fitness room with new equipment. Here are some pictures and videos of students on our new equipment working out with the proper technique. There they go. It helps that Miss Kate Reno is on the board with me and can provide me with the videos of her students working out. Okay. Moving on, this past weekend, students performed in the spring musical Bedtime Stories, as told by our dad who messed them up. And the actors and crew put in the work to make this performance a full night of belly laughs. 8th graders in the 3D RD class designed 3D printed prosthetic hands, signs for the LMC, and performed open heart surgery with a 3D printed model. Pretty cool. Our next picture, maybe behind me, is the Thomas Track and Field. Is a picture of their hands-off exchanges. They have reached mastery with that. We have a picture of the Battle of the Books 2022. Those are a picture of the champions right there, smiling with their awards and their medals. Students and artists who love to read have designed beautiful paintings and replicating a few of their favorite book covers to decorate the LMC. And then finally, the Student Council, they're spreading sunshine. This year, they've done outdoor movie nights, a food drive, Adopt a Family, Kindness Challenge, Spirit Days, a Kindness Rock Garden, Valentine's Day Cheer, Project Linus, Ribbons and Funds for Ukraine, and Esther's Friends. And there's some pictures of the Student Council at work doing their best work. So I'm happy to report on Thomas today. Just a quick shout out, I also was lucky enough to go to the Special Olympics, and how cool was that? I had never attended one before, a Special Olympics. I didn't know what I was even pulling up to, and when I saw there was like traffic police, I was like, whoa, this is like the real deal here. And it was very awesome is the only word I can say, and I got to see a lot of our Windsor students participating who were super thrilled to see their teachers there, and I took some pictures of their medals. It was just a great experience. I'm super thrilled that Arlington Heights 25 is a part of it. It was a really great experience for me, and I know for our students as well. So thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much, Allison. And thanks for taking us on this road trip with you across all the schools. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Next up, we have the consent agenda, which is an action item.
Madam President?
Yes, Greg?
I move that the Board of Education approve those items on the consent agenda as follows. A, Treasurer's Report. B, Invoices. C, Fixed Asset Disposal Report. And that the Board of Education shift the personnel plan to the June 11th meeting and approve a 1.0 FTE psychology position for the 2022-2023 school year.
Okay, thank you, Greg. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Rich. We are now going to move on to the student learning.
Do a roll call.
Oh, yes, let's do the roll call for that action item. And
We can tell you. We'll need to let Lana know exactly what you said. We'll get that to you.
yeah, Greg, don't leave without that. Okay. Thank you for the roll call.
Member Olenichak?
Yes.
Member Jogi?
Yes.
Member Scapalato?
Yes.
Member Philippek?
Yes.
Member Faso?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Next up, we have the student learning with the elementary math curriculum adoption, which is an action item.
Madam President?
Yes, Greg.
I move that the Board of Education approve the elementary math curriculum adoption as presented.
Thank you, Greg. And the second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Scott.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he beat you to it. I think you guys were tied, but I'll take Scott. Thank you. Dr. Fitzpatrick, go ahead.
Good evening. So this information about the math curriculum adoption for our elementary schools was brought to the board at our last meeting. There's no new information and no changes, so at this point we're bringing it to the board for a vote.
Thanks so much, Becky. Are there any questions before we go to the vote? We had asked you extensive questions last time. Any other comments?
Madam President, just a question.
Yes.
So just as I understand, the total cost of implementation is about 1.1.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 433, that's just additive to what the current program was. So the 433 is additive to what it was before.
Sorry, I'm actually having a little trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry. So there was this, in the information packet that we got, there was a net 6-year additional financial impact of 433. So just trying to back into it and understand that 433 is just a new additive cost that the current program, so really the current program was about, 700,000, the new 433 brings it up to the 1.2.
Correct.
Okay. And then maybe Stacy, where would we, I know, incidentally in the year it's $70,000 thereabouts, but is there a thought of where we're getting that $70,000 from, or is it just, right now it's just movement of dollars?
So actually, the way this program works is we would purchase it up front, so it's a full 6-year subscription that we would pay for next year versus budgeting each year for 6 years the amount that we would typically budget. So we would budget that amount in full in next year's DSL budget.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, we will, Lana, if you could please call the vote for us, help us call the vote.
Member Jogi?
Yes.
Member Scapalato?
Yes.
Member Philippek?
Yes.
Member Faso?
Yes.
Member Oliniechek?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The next action item is middle school English language arts curriculum adoption. And, yep, it's an action item.
Madam President.
Yes, Greg.
I move that the Board of Education approve the middle school English language arts curriculum adoption as presented.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, thank you, Scott. I like how his light went up. He's like, I'm going to beat you to it, Rich. And we have Dr. Patrick. Go ahead. You're so far away. I'm like, okay.
Again, we brought information about our proposal for a new English language arts program for our middle school students to the board at our last meeting. Also, again, there are no changes or no new information regarding the curriculum, so at this time we're bringing it to the board for a vote.
Thank you. Any questions, comments before we take the vote? Seeing none. Lana, could you please call the vote?
Member Scapalato?
Yes.
Member Philippek?
Yes.
Member Faso?
Yes.
Member Oliniechek?
Yes.
Member Jogi?
Yes. Thank you. The next item, I believe, is business and finance, which is an action and an information item.
Madam President.
Yes, Greg.
I move that the Board of Education approve the TRS SSP Employer Participation Agreement as presented.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Rich. Stacy, thank you, Stacy.
So the legislature back actually a number of years ago created a 457 plan for all TRS employers that requires the board of all TRS employers to pass this resolution in order for the employees to participate. It's because of the Tier 2 system and the change in the TRS pension system to give TRS members an alternative way of investing for their retirement. We haven't brought it prior to this because school district legal counsel has had some concerns with the way TRS wrote the resolution and presented it. So legal counsel has redrafted it, trying to ensure that districts don't take on or take on as limited amount of liability for this plan and simply act as the transactional piece from getting retirement contributions from employees' paychecks and sending them into the TRS system for the 457 plan. There's no cost to the board on this. This would all be employee voluntary retirement elections. The legislature did indicate that effective July 1, we're supposed to automatically enroll all new TRS employees into the system. However, their technology systems are not set up at this point yet to do that. So could happen, I suppose, by July 1, but I'm not sure. Anybody else can voluntarily elect to join at any time. And then the documents that you see attached would be how they move forward with making elections. That would be going through our payroll then, and that money sent into the TRS. Voya Financial would be managing it on behalf of TRS.
Thanks so much for that information, and it's an action item. Any questions, comments before we take the vote?
Just a quick question.
Go ahead, Rich.
So just so I understand, so employees may opt in, all employees, or is it then the new employees as of June 1st, let's say it happens on June 1st, they must. So is there an option, or depending on certain employee years, they must versus opt-in?
Right, sorry. So TRS members only, so certified staff versus non-certified staff. Currently, as soon as the board were to adopt the resolution, a TRS member could submit and say, I voluntarily want to start participating now. The legislature had said, the way it reads is effective July 1, any new members that we sign up into the TRS system would automatically be enrolled. However, I don't know, unless they fill out a salary reduction agreement with us, we wouldn't be sending any money to them. So I think they haven't worked those pieces out yet. So ultimately, in this sense, really to have any money sent on behalf of employees, they have to turn in a form to us in order for us to send it into TRS.
Okay, thank you for that information. Lana, will you please call the roll? Oh, sorry, Scott, do you have a question, comment?
I'm just ready to vote.
Oh, okay. Lana, would you please? We're very efficient today. We're trying to beat the clock here.
Member Philippek.
Yes.
Member Faso.
Yes.
Member Oliniechek.
Yes.
Member Jogi.
Yes.
Member Scapalato.
Yes.
Lana, you're so proud of us because the timeline says 10:05 and we're at 8:10. Like, we're doing super good. We're going to get an A grade from Lana today.
Yeah, it's the candy bar.
It's the candy. Next up, we have Facilities Management and on Summer Construction Bid Award. Thank you, Ryan, for the information. Action item. So we actually need a, yes, please.
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education award bid package number 1, base bid, while rejecting alternates 1 for site work to Reamer Engineering in the amount of $431,810 for the 2022 capital improvements, and immediately assign the contract with the contractor to Nicholas and Associates, Inc. as construction manager.
Thank you, Greg. A second.
Second.
Thank you, Rich.
Good evening. Good evening. Let me make sure it's on. Hello. All good? Good evening. This is the summer projects for the site work. It is a portion of the projects we intended to award for this summer. So we're looking to award scope for Ivy Hill turf repairs, Ivy Hill partial parking lot replacement. It was a portion of the lot that wasn't done with renovations in 2015 and 2016. South Middle School, some concrete sidewalk repairs, and then also some miscellaneous concrete sidewalk repairs throughout the district. So that is the main scope that we're looking to award tonight to Reamer. We do have another portion of the project, or that we allocated for budget, that we're looking to award yet with the Park District. That is for the Dryden Elementary School North parking lot. So it's a joint venture parking lot because it's conjoined. So we're looking to award that yet at some point. We're just working through MWRD in the village to get that finalized. So hopefully in the next few months or weeks, we will have that ready to go for award. So that is another portion we're looking to award yet this summer. And it may, again, that project may go into the fall, but it's, again, a smaller parking lot that we can offset south of the building, and then we have a joint agreement with the church nearby as well, so we have plenty of parking at that site if the project does extend into the school year. A number of the projects we are going to defer at this time. That is the Dutton Administration West parking lot, the South Middle School East drop-off parking lot, and the Patton Elementary School parking lot. The main reason is still working through some stormwater management issues with the village, and how they're interpreting these lots will be redone. So again, with their most current interpretation of these lots, we will have to implement some stormwater detention. And again, that will increase the cost. We weren't anticipating these additional costs associated with the project related to stormwater detention. We've had various projects in the past where they've treated these projects as maintenance work, so no additional stormwater management has been done. Their current interpretation is that these will be improvement work, and the lots will need to be brought up to the most current code. That's primarily driven by stormwater issues in the neighborhoods and people getting water in their basements and things like that. So that's why they're really pushing hard on these things now throughout Arlington Heights, is that they're really putting an emphasis on stormwater management for all the entities in the village, not just us. So again, at this point, we have some work to do with engineering. Again, if the referendum would pass in June of 22, we may have to bundle some of those together for economy of scale. So we're going to relook at this and how that would go forward with the overall scope of work. So again, right now, we're going to defer those projects, recommend to defer those projects until we work through the stormwater a little bit better and project those out a little bit further. But again, looking to award the scope to Reamer Engineering. We've used Reamer before on some of our renovation and expansion projects, so had good success with them. So looking to get going with the summer work.
Thank you, Ryan. Any questions or comments, Rich?
Madam President, just a quick question. You know, you were mentioning about the stormwater. So and just thinking about the location of some of these parking lots, what do they want us to do? Because one, they're not, we're not talking like a Walmart parking lot or something like that. They're relatively small, but what are they asking us to do?
So if you are familiar with Thomas or a couple of the other sites, there's some small depressed areas that can contain some stormwater. Again, it's a detention area where it doesn't get wet. It gets wet for a temporary measure and then it drains off.
Like in the parking lot, or?
It's just next to it in the grass area typically.
Yep.
Another option we would have to do is Windsor Elementary School several years ago. It's called a storm trap. So it's right next to the soccer fields. You don't even know it's there. We put that in particularly because that was such a heavily used area with flat surface and soccer fields. That's another option where it's kind of underground and buried. But right now, some of the sites we're looking at, we're going to have to decide on if we want to take up green space for the detention areas or we value that on some of these sites. I think the majority of them we can work and put it into the grass area, which is cheaper. But again, we'll have to look through that and determine if that's a feasible option going forward. So we're working through that with the engineer right now on what that looks like.
Do you think any of that will be resolved in time for you to do the work over the summer?
Again, I don't believe so, to be honest. Again, maybe Dunton, because it's not as, we can flex a little bit more there with Dunton. Maybe we get something done in the fall, but again, I think cost is going to be our concern at this point, because again, we just projected taking out the asphalt and the stone base and not having to do another detention area next to it. So it's a big difference than what we anticipated.
Thank you, Ryan, for that information. Any other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none, Lena, will you please take us to a vote?
Member Faso?
Yes.
Member Olenichak?
Yes.
Member Jogi?
Yes.
Member Scapalato?
Yes.
Member Philippek?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're now moving on to personnel and planning, and that's an action item for the 2022-2023.
Actually, Member Scapalato made a motion related to that with the consent agenda, so we will defer this item till the next meeting.
Okay, thank you for that reminder. I'm chugging right along. Superintendent report is next.
And there are no FOIA reports to share this month.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have the second portion of the community input. Do we have any comments? Okay. And future agenda items and topics with dates to be determined. Any input from that for board members? We're done talking about it. It's the end of the year. We're just wrapping up at this point. We're not talking about anything new. Yeah. Okay. And no new topics, right? No new topics either. So I need a motion to adjourn into closed session. Is that okay that we move back into closed session, colleague?
It says 11:20 on here.
Yeah, we're 3 hours. We're 3 hours early.
So we will be eating cookies till 11. But no, we're very efficient today. Is that so? Should we, right? Are we still going to go into closed? Thanks to this board. We always meet earlier for closed session. And this board's so dedicated, we're going to continue our meeting in closed session. So I need a motion to adjourn into closed session.
So moved.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Gina. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, those opposed, thank you all for coming.